Zombie. Everyone knows zombie. Zombie's been around forever. If you don't know what zombie is, come on, man. But I'm gonna be teaching you how to play zombie. So that's even better than knowing what zombie is. When you have Dilogical's wise words of wisdom about how to play zombie. I love zombie. It's why I got it P3. I might get it P4. I might be working towards that right now. Who knows? But zombie is really overpowered when you know how to play it. And it's getting nerfed in phase 2 a tiny bit, but it's not going to change that much. Um, People have been telling me what guides they wanted me to do next, and I have taken that on. But I'm going to stick with the classes I'm more comfortable with first, such as Cow, which will be coming out soon as well. But someone asked me to do a Herobrine one. I will get around to that, I promise. But let's get in to the zombie guide. Alright, I'm going to start off by looking at this list that I've put together of how zombie compares to how zombie matches up against other characters that you'll be fighting. This is in my opinion, so don't take it too literally. I've given Spider a 1 star. That doesn't mean that you should never fight a Spider as zombie. It just means that if it's kind of like a balanced 1v1 and both players are of the same skill, this is how much your class, not your PvP skills, your class specifically, will help you in the fight. 3 star being that it kind of just comes down to the situation. But I thought this is always interesting to look at. You can see what classes zombie is particularly good at killing, and which classes zombie will struggle with killing in a normal situation. But again, really don't take it too literally. Alright, now something I didn't do in my Shaman guide is I didn't really go into detail about the basics of the class. I sort of jumped in with assumed knowledge about how the class should be played. But with Zombie, I'm gonna go back to basics a bit. I'll explain a bit more. To start with, each set for Zombie is 11 iron to make. So I normally get about 66 iron in total. That gets me 6 sets. And that means I can go out 5 times to rush or defend or just have fun or whatever. And I still have a set left for deathmatch. Blocks wise, I don't normally mine blocks. I find that a waste of time. It's easy enough to go around mid and pick up loads of blocks. But if you wanna spend some of pre-game mining blocks, this is the same with any class. Feel free to do so. Alright, the first tip I'm gonna talk about is using knockback to your advantage. You can do this in 2 ways. When you are comboing someone, you want to try and really pressure them, really close the gap and get them into a place where they can't escape. Zombie doesn't have mobility, so if they get to a situation where they can just run away from you, you won't be able to hunt them down easily. Whereas if they're stuck in a corner, that is when zombie is most useful. It's when you have a constant damage output because there is nowhere for them to move. So when you're comboing them, really do push them, play aggressive, and build up energy as well while you're comboing them. If they're comboing you, you want to try and get them to knock you as far away as you can. You want to try and break out of the combo and instead go into using your bow. And when they've hit you far away, if you jump, for example, and you take extra knockback, or you're on a hill and they knock you down, maybe not knock you down, that's probably not the best. If they knock you up a hill, that's always useful. Get your bow out, start shooting them, and just build up loads of quick energy between the fights to have a heal ready for when you meet again. And if you do this, if every time you get hit away, you can quickly bow spam 4 shots into someone, that's a really strong amount of energy that you can use to your advantage to constantly be healing more than they are damaging you. Talking about the kit a bit more and what the class actually offers, my favourite part about Zombie, and the reason I got P3 Zombie over P3 Cow, because to be honest they are very similar, is Zombie has Berserk. What Berserk does is it increases your damage output by 100%. It doubles how much damage you do every time you hit someone with your sword after you've been hit by an arrow. Now this may sound fairly strong, but when you actually play Zombie, you begin to realize that you never get hit by arrows, and people are sort of smart enough to not hit you. And that's when you need to start outsmarting them to actually force them into shooting you. And I like to do this by baiting my teammates. If I see a teammate fighting an enemy in a bow fight, I'll sort of hide around the corner, wait until they've committed to this bow fight, and that's when I can run out from the corner into the line of fire and guarantee I get shot. And then by playing aggressive like that, I can actually get use of the strength. Because if they shoot you from too far away, the strength will run out before you get to them. But by hiding and jumping into people's arrows, not expecting them to shoot you as such, but forcing them to shoot you, you can really abuse the double damage you get. And that is how you can slice down some really strong classes very quick. Now, if you watch the background footage, there's going to be a perfect example of this, in my opinion at least. This guy was destroying me. He was doing better than me. I ran away, I baited him into a bow fight without giving him enough distance to run if I were to turn on him. And so when he shot me, I was quickly able to turn around, charge him, and I got a good few hits off with the strength, and it's actually what won me the fight. Alright, so my next tip involves really effective uses of tunnels. To be honest, any class can effectively control what goes on in a tunnel. Every class has its own benefit to being the last man in a tunnel. It's really good to build a tunnel, no matter what. Zombie can build a tunnel really quick because of the haste, so it's a good idea to try and get someone else to get you iron, and then once someone's got you iron, well, while someone's getting you iron, you can be making a tunnel. And if you are getting chased down a tunnel and you're at the back, it gives you another really good opportunity to bow spam people. You place blocks along the bottom row whilst you're tunneling, and then you shoot them along the top, and it means that you can really be healing your teammates. Because if you're in a tunnel in the first place, you're going to be in a sticky situation. And then spamming for your heal means you can get your teammates up to full health really quick and turn the fight around by the time they've actually dug onto you. Just a few smaller points to quickly build in. Something that you'll see me do in the background quite a lot is when I'm chasing people and I suddenly realise I have my ability, I will use my bow to activate it. This just means that if if a fight suddenly breaks out, I hadn't been hitting someone when I already had 100 energy, I'm already going to start building up energy, ready for another heal. So I'm constantly keeping my heal on rotation, and I'm saving it sometimes, but then I'm also, if I'm not full health, I'm just going to pop it while I'm chasing someone in case it does turn quickly. And I'm also, when I'm chasing someone, if they're bow spamming me, I try as hard as I can to avoid their arrows. I would take very elongated paths to avoid their arrows to make sure I have berserk off cooldown for the time that I actually want to get shot and I want the strength to activate. And that means that they don't shoot you while you're really far away. Strength activates, 15-second cooldown, and you don't get it in the fight even though you're being shot. One thing that most zombie players do that really annoys me is they're just very overly selfish with their heal. They don't look for opportunities to heal big groups of teammates, and they also they will save their heal if they have it until they themselves need it. If they're on full health and their whole team around them's on 30 and you're about to go into a fight, you need to heal before that fight. Don't save it for yourself. It's really important that you play zombie as supportive as you can, because that is how you will win games. Even though it might be jeopardizing yourself a bit more, you will win more games being a team player with zombie. I think one of the final things to talk about is, of course, the diamond sword. You don't get one with zombie, but you can get one if you go to mid and get diamonds. How important do I think it is? You do not need it to win games, but having the diamond sword suddenly takes you from a tank to more of a similar playstyle to Pigman. Your playstyle shouldn't change massively, but you are now able to deal damage, and having the diamond sword with the strength from Berserk is when you will start seeing probably the biggest damage in the entire game, and it's one of the reasons I love zombie. But you do not need a diamond sword to be good with zombie. I know one thing people struggle with is knowing when to drink your health pot, and with zombie, even though you're very tanky, you can get dropped. True damage does exist, and true damage will really hurt you, such as Herobrine's Wrath and Dreadlord's Skulls. So I would say you can drink your pot reasonably late with zombie, but I wouldn't. With any class, you'd rather be alive 10 minutes later than have died because you played it too risky. Alright? One thing you can do with zombie is if you're slightly dug underground and people were gonna chase you and you pretend to drink your pot, they're suddenly thinking there's a full health zombie in a hole, even though you haven't actually drunk your pot, and that can really scare people away sometimes. I've done that so many times, and they just run away because fighting a full health zombie in a hole is not something you want to do. But I think that pretty much wraps up my zombie guide. If there's anything I've forgotten, it'll probably be in the description when I think of it later and I didn't add it in. So do check the description in case I've updated anything. But thank you for watching, and tell me what guides you want me to do next. Tell me what else you want me to include in my guides if you think it's worth of me to keep making guides. I've only made two, but I think it's nice that people explore every class available. So, thank you.